What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Indie Comics review. This is the show where I do reviews on 3 comic books from recent weeks. And this is the kind of content that you find interesting. Be sure to hit the like button and the subscribe button. So let's get started. The first book is called 9 Stones. It is on the Behemoth label and it is written and illustrated by Samuel Spano. This kid named Allie is forced to work at this retail store by his father. It turns out that this store is also a front for a cocaine drug ring, which is apparently run by Allie's father. Allie really hates this job, partly because retail is hell, and partly because his supervisor Christopher really leans on him super hard under orders from Allie's dad. Now, Allie's dad sounds like a real peach. Also, Allie's having nightmares and seeing some kind of spectral being that keeps popping up and saying creepy shit to him. One day, Allie and Chris make a delivery to one of their middlemen. And they end up walking into an ambush where Chris is wounded but refuses to go to a hospital. Instead, Allie takes him to this secret place that he calls his haven, where he has an entire gallery of artwork. There, they plot their next move, unaware of whom they can really trust. First off, the artwork in this book is just amazing. Spano has worked as an illustrator, a colorist, and a character designer, and all that shows in his work. He understands color like a lot of us wish that we could. The fact that he even has time to write the story, the dialogue for this book, is just given the complexity of the artwork and all the time that takes is just pretty incredible in itself. That said, I'm not sure if the story alone is going to be enough to keep me personally coming back. It's a story that resonates more with a younger demographic than mine, which many of y'all might fall into. But overall, I can recommend this book solely on the illustrations. I mean, you could do a lot worse than spending your $4 on a beautiful book like this. It's definitely worth checking out. The next book is Boundable Garden, #1, and it is on the Mad Cave Studios label, and it is written by Ivy Noel Ware and illustrated by Kelly Williams. Boundable Garden takes place in the year 3030. A team of young scientists are sent to space to find this planet and to terraform it. Essentially, they're colonizing into space. Even though they're all engineers and bioengineers, all of them are just teenagers. They found the best and brightest and crammed as much education into these kids as possible so they could better endure the journey, which usually would take years, so that way they wouldn't age as much, or they wouldn't be so old when they arrived at their destination, at least. Then they were sealed in pods, keeping them in a kind of suspended animation for the whole trip. Problem is, the pods opened up 10 years early. As the kids awake, they realize that they're stalled above a strange planet that doesn't even show up on their maps. Initially, some of them panic since they're still just kids, but the oldest, a military brat, takes control and he restores order. He then decides that they have to take a landing team down to the planet to hope to fully or partially get some answers as to what's going on with their situation. Can I just say that if you woke up out of a pod after like many years, wouldn't you have to probably, the first thing you have to do is pee really bad? I mean, just say, because none of these kids even address that, and they even mention that whatsoever. I just find that kind of strange. Maybe it's just me, I don't know. Just saying. But I got a lot of, that being said, there's a lot of titles from Mad Cave Studios I really like. And this is another one of those publishers that their books can be really hard to find, which is too bad, because they have some really decent titles for indie comics. And this isn't a bad book. In fact, it's nicely drawn, well written. I see a lot of this type of comic out there, and there's nothing in issue #1 here that says that this is going to be any different from any of those books. So I can say, though, if you are a parent and you are looking for something that your young child or preteen may enjoy, the Bountiful Garden may work for them. It's smart without being too complicated, and so it's something you might want to give to them, so they can hopefully eventually have the love for this hobby that we all share. So yeah, that's why I would recommend this book for that purpose. The last book is 10 Years to Death, and it is on the Aftershock label. It's written by Aaron Douglas, illustrated by Cliff Richards. Well, the main character, Adam, is a kid back in the 1970s, 1978 to be exact, and his uncle works as a guard in a local prison. Adam thought that was cool because he was a kid, and his Uncle John would always come home with all kinds of stories about work and the prisoners. So that was kind of a cool thing for a kid. So one morning, Uncle Jonah comes home, and he wasn't his usual self. He's kind of like zoned out, and he just sits down on the couch next to Adam, who's eating some cereal, and he starts telling him what he just witnessed, because he has had to tell somebody about this. In Jonah's block, his cell block, there was one prisoner, a real badass named Antoski. Antoski ruled the block with an iron fist. They were sure that the guards were sure that he had murdered other inmates, but they couldn't prove it. So all the other prisoners stayed away from him, and Antoski was nothing to fuck with. And then one day, this guard got transferred in on this transfer program they have to move guards around or something like that. It's out of the blue. And his name was Doyle. And there was something really creepy about Doyle. Even his fellow guards thought so. And even Mr. Badass himself, Antoski. But there's something about the prestige format of books like this that make them really, really fun to read. It's like the bigger pictures and texts. They make you kind of feel like a kid again because they're so big in your hands. They have that same kind of feel. And older people like me, we don't have to squint to read it. So not only that for me, but there's this joy of the one shot. I mean, you read the story and we're done. There's no coming back next month. There's no 12-issue limited series. There's no continuous subscription. Nope, that's it. We're done. No commitment. Wham, bam, that's it. All that aside, I found this book to be quite engaging as it is. Whether or not you believe in that based on a true event or based on true events, that the tag that they put on this book or not, it is still interesting as it stands. It's a 40-page story with a 4-page preview of Party and Pray, which is another Aftershock book. It's another Aftershock book that's coming out soon at the end of it. So you really get a lot for your money for that. What is it? I think $6.99. So actually, bottom line is, for the same price of Pirate Queen, actually for $1 less than Pirate Queen, you get this 44-page prestige format book. So to me, it's no contest. This book is well worth the price, and it is a great read. So you got $6-7, pick this book up. It's worth it. So that's it for this Indie Comics review. Next week, get a lot of good returning books like, let's see, of course, Nice House on the Wake, Nice House on the Lake, The Me You Love in the Dark, and what's the other one that I always, The Last Book You'll Ever Read. And in addition to that, there'll be some number ones. I can think of, there's this book, I think, on Aftershock called Out. It's about Nazis and vampires, so that might be something to check out. I'll probably try to find that. And also there's something weird called The Chicken Devil, which is about this guy who owns some kind of a chicken joint and decides he wants to become a vigilante or a superhero. And it looks like it might be kind of funny or at least entertaining to check that out. So that's a couple of things I'm looking forward to. So thanks for stopping by. Be sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and turn notifications on so you know to make another video. So until next time, I'll see you guys in the funny papers. Hey, don't forget to subscribe and leave a thumbs up.